Okay, hello. So we have a very, very exciting panel today, focusing on NFT exchanges and platforms. And we're going to start with some introductions. My name is Nelson. I am CEO of Lightno Media, which is a media events and marketing agency. And we help companies, projects, and funds be able to build a community and really build a momentum to launch themselves into the crypto ecosystem.
Hi, my name is Peter Girr. I'm CEO of LiquidNFTs.com. It's a smart contract that allows you to deposit your NFTs and take out a loan based off the value.
And my name is Devon Marty. I'm Director of Strategy for LiquidNFTs.com.
Okay, great. So in terms of what you guys are doing, there's some really interesting things in terms of being able to tap into liquidity of NFTs. Right now, if you hold an NFT, let's say a Bored Ape, I think they're going for 200,000?
$250,000, yeah.
Yeah, 250,000 plus. That's a lot of liquidity that is locked in there that is not really working for you. And so how are you guys enabling there to be liquidity as well as being able to really tap into that, the money that is in there?
Sure, so you'd be able to deposit the Bored Ape or several Bored Apes in the smart contract and create a loan proposal. Now you could create the loan proposal in any currency you like. It doesn't have to be ETH, it could be stable coins as well. You create the proposal, you set your parameters, and then you have 5 days to get it funded. And if the money's not coming in, you can adjust your parameters during that time. Maybe you can offer more APY, or you can decrease your loan size to make it more attractive for the people that are funding you. When the money comes in, you're allowed to take out your loan. During the duration of your loan, you pay interest, and then at the end, you pay back your principal, and that's when you can retrieve your Bored Ape from the smart contract. So because we offer any currency, you can use it to leverage the market. Let's say if you think Ethereum is going to go down in price, you could take out a loan in Ethereum, then sell that Ethereum, buy it back cheaper and pay back the loan, or you could take out a loan in USDC and use that to buy Ethereum or whatever cryptocurrency you want. So it's just allowing you to access that liquidity that's locked up in your NFT portfolio.
Awesome, great. Right now with the NFT market, especially when it comes to exchanges, it's really a peer-to-peer process. So if you have an NFT, you could post your NFT and someone is going to have to be able to buy it. Do you see these exchanges possibly moving into more of a liquid environment where you don't have to necessarily do a peer-to-peer transaction, but instead be able to actually either get exposure? So something like, let's say Bored Ape, 250,000 minimum, that prices out the retail market pretty significantly. And so how do you, as a retail market, and obviously a lot of these communities want to get the retail on their side. You want to have the retail get exposure to NFTs, especially the high-priced NFTs. How do you see exchanges and projects facilitating the ability for retail to get exposure to these high-priced NFTs?
I think it's hard to have what you're saying, that liquidity with an NFT, because an NFT is a one-of-a-kind thing. There's no price feed for an NFT. You have this NFT and it's worth what the second person is willing to pay, just like any other piece of art. So to your point, fractionalization is an attempt, I think, at that. Let's gain liquidity from these NFTs from people who value them at this X price. But one person loses the keys to their wallet and you can't ever unlock that NFT again. You need every token to unfractionalize that NFT. I think on the other side of lending and borrowing with peer-to-peer, you can have liquidity. You can have multiple lenders come in and essentially do what fractionalization is doing, where if the NFT is the loan is defaulted upon, that collateral, which is NFT, goes to an auction, right, and is to the highest bidder. Those proceeds proportionally go down to the lenders, and those people all, in effect, just invested in that NFT with $100, even if it's a Bored Ape, with $100 invested in that product and reap the rewards of the sale without ever holding or touching the NFT or owning it, right?
Yeah, so you could have 1,000 people collateralizing your loan for that Bored Ape. It doesn't have to be one person paying that $200,000. So because we have so many people collateralizing it, the question is, okay, so what if the loan defaults, who gets the NFT? And so that's what Devon was talking about. The NFT goes to auction on OpenSea, and then the proceeds get split proportionally between everybody that participated. But if someone puts up a loan proposal for a Bored Ape, and it's a good APY, and you want to participate in it, you can just contribute a small amount of money. You can contribute $100 and participate in it, even though the entire loan is much larger.
It seems as if, and this, I like the Etheland Aave example, because Etheland, or Aave, started out as Etheland, which was a peer-to-peer lending and borrowing platform. So if I wanted to borrow $10,000 in US in Ethereum, I would have to put up, let's say, $20,000 of collateral and essentially almost list that and hope that someone would pick that up and be interested in getting paid a certain amount and kind of pick up that loan. That seems like that's kind of the move that you guys are going towards, which is the peer-to-peer. But there also but it's not even just peer-to-peer, because now you could actually have groups of people being able to provide lending and borrowing services to specific NFTs, which is very exciting. And then I guess the next stage of that is, it's almost like you can now have almost like options in terms of like a Bored Ape. So like if I have $250,000 of a Bored Ape, and I get a group of people to essentially be able to invest in it, to be able to kind of put up collateral for it, I get some sort of exposure. And then I would almost be able to say, I will give it away, I will sell it to that community if it hits, let's say, $300,000. And then almost that community would be able to vote and say, yes, we're willing to buy it at that price. So it's almost like what's happening is it's allowing all these layers of economies to build out off of just the lending borrowing ecosystem. How do you guys see those layers developing and kind of flourishing and really enabling really unique and interesting economies within specific NFTs and then also within the projects themselves?
So the interesting thing about this is that all the risk lies on the people that are funding the loans. And so the risk would be that you funded a loan and then the price of that NFT drops. And since NFTs are so new, the price fluctuates so much, we don't have a lot of data to be able to know whether prices are going to stay where they are or whether they're going to go up and down. So as a user coming in wanting to earn interest, it's important to understand the ratio between the asking loan amount and the actual value of that NFT. So the way we've tackled this is we give trust scores based on the loan ask amount compared to the floor price. So right now the floor price of Bored Apes is something around 45 ETH. And so if you were only asking for a loan of 35 ETH or 30 ETH, then you would get a high trust score because you're asking for far less than what the floor price of that NFT is. So I think that's important, especially for new users who may come to the platform, not realizing that, hey, if I collateralize something that the price goes down, then I'm going to be left with that NFT or a piece of that NFT that gets sold off. So we want to bring the social aspect to our platform to educate our new users how stuff works like that, and that's why we implemented the trust score based on the floor price.
Yeah, and beyond that, to your point as well, I think there are other experiments going on with how communities can create tokens around their NFTs, or maybe not in a fractionalized sense, but there's a DAO component, or you stake this and get certain amount. There's a lot more to it, and this isn't the only answer, but it's certainly a really good start, in our opinion, to creating these economies around NFT communities, artists, and beyond.
Yeah, because you could essentially have a Bored Ape worth $250,000, get a $100,000 loan, allow that to work in the market, trade it, whatever you want to do, and then almost have an option that says if it hits 300,000, the community is almost able to kind of purchase it, and then now it's like it really is. It's very interesting because and this is where I think the Etheland Aave example is very interesting, where it starts out as peer-to-peer, but then now you're almost able to like really group together these like economies within one. And so now instead of me just investing in a specific Bored Ape NFT, I can actually almost invest in like an ecosystem that is managing and buying and providing. So if I believe that Bored Ape is going to be worth $500,000, like I would invest immediately at the 250K level.
That's a really good idea. You said option, and someone could feasibly put 1 ETH or whatever value into a vault. That an NFT, a non-fungible, it's a key too. That's essentially what NFTs are. They take that NFT, and that's the only thing that can unlock that 1 ETH. Then you put this in a contract 6 months long, and put a little APR on top to incentivize lenders to come in. And then in 6 months, if the ETH is worth less and you borrowed that USDC, let it default because it's worth less. But if it's more than 6 months, like you're saying, take the ETH back because it's worth more than that USDC that you borrowed. That's really smart. I like that.
There's a lot of layer 2 interesting ideas. We had somebody come by our booth yesterday that wanted to know if after somebody had created the loan, if they could then sell that as an investment. And so they were thinking of putting up land NFTs into a loan, kind of like a mortgage, and then being able to sell that mortgage to somebody else, kind of like how banks sell derivatives of mortgages and stuff like that. So there's a lot of interesting layer 2 things we can create once we have the base contract down.
I think that's going to be the next DeFi boom. It's obviously the NFT boom came, and then we saw the DeFi boom previously, but then now people are wondering like, what's the next DeFi boom? And I think it's going to be these economies that are being built within these NFTs. Now, in terms of floor price, how do you guys manage the possible price manipulations, specifically for less developed communities that are not as strong as something like Bored Apes or something like CryptoPunks?
Sure. So that specific problem is mitigated slightly because if someone wants to get a loan on something, especially a loan on Ethereum where you have to pay hundreds of dollars in gas to do transactions, you're probably going to be doing an asset that's worth something. So there's fewer asset classes of NFTs that are worth something enough that people would want to do that. But also, just the process of having the image being able to show up on our platform requires developer time. So even just to get whitelisted, somebody has to do that. So there's a filter. So first of all, the blue check mark on OpenSea, we recognize so people can see if it's a verified collection or not. But also, just to show up on the platform, it has to go through some type of filter. So we don't want people to get scammed. We don't want people to be able to use the platform to put a dummy NFT up. And so we've taken the measures to make sure that only the verified contracts make it onto the platform.
Great. So I think we're almost finishing this panel. I think a question for the audience and what you guys would answer is the NFT space is rapidly growing. I mean, obviously in this talk, we see just the immense possibilities that exist within these, specifically NFTs themselves, not even talking about the projects, but these NFTs. What would you recommend people that are interested in getting into NFTs to start doing, as well as people that are experienced in NFTs, to kind of how to prepare for that next wave, for that next trend? And is it really looking at the PFP NFTs? Is it looking at more of like the traditional private music NFTs? Is it looking more at the infrastructure plays? How do you guys kind of see that really being involved in the day-to-day operations of the NFT space?
There's so many different types of NFTs. It really depends on what you're interested in. So I really like the Avatar series. I like the Bored Apes. I think the punks are cool. and I like the cool cats too. So like that's where I like to be. But there's other people that are really deep into photography, or really deep into music, or really deep into the gaming. So I think it's just a matter of pursuing your interests and finding those communities that are using NFTs, and just getting into those discords and finding out how it works. What do you think, Devon?
Yeah, educate yourself in discords and mess around in the metaverse, because a lot of cool stuff going on there. So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you everyone for attending, for participating. Thank you for coming to DeCentral Con, and we hope to see you in the next one.